If you have landed on this video, then hello, my name is Austin. So if you are truly running a peptide company right now, or already thinking about it, or getting started in this space, then stay tuned, because this video is about to teach you a ton about the industry that nobody really talks about, the ins and outs, and how to build a customer base that is cult-like versus just a regular, clothing brand. Now, if you have no clue about peptides or really just landed on this video somehow, I highly suggest go watch my other videos. I have a ton of different things talking about peptides in the space and the opportunity that is in front of you right now. So ton of info on those ones. It's a little bit more in detail for the people that understand what's going on. So if that's you, stay tuned. If that's not you, go watch the other videos. Back to it though, if you are wondering, who am I? Why am I speaking to you about this topic? Well, my name is Austin Siddiqui. Hello. I am 20 years old. I live in Miami. I am currently running a peptide business that is doing over $60,000 a month without any ads or any public crazy marketing tactics. Just a simple strategy that I'm going to talk to you about today. So if you're interested, let's get straight into it, and we're going to talk to you about the ins and outs and really just start about who I am and why I'm qualified to talk to you about this topic. Okay, why should you listen to me? Well, I've been in the e-commerce space for a very long time. I've had every single business model you can think of. I've likely tried. I've played sports through my entire high school career while also running a online business and selling shoes, and really just navigating through the trials and tribulations, as you could say, is being a high school athlete and a business owner and having a successful business at the same time. I started my entire journey at 13 years old. I've always tried figuring out different ways to make money, from reselling shoes, AirPods, luxury clothes, to starting a clothing brand, and then now, of course, peptides. It all started when I was about 14, 15 years old. This photo right here, you could see me posted up in my living room with some shoes, thinking I was the man. Then fast forward a little bit to when I started my clothing brand when I lived overseas in Rome for my first semester at the University of Miami. I tried literally whatever I could to make money and learned a lot about it, but obviously didn't really go anywhere. And I've done it all since I was a very young age. And of course, I've also had my bad moments as well. Like any entrepreneur, you have your pitfalls. And when I was 17 years old, at June of 2023, I lost $100,000 in a very, very sad scam, you could say. I paid this guy for shoes, never came through, tried getting it back, lost a lot of money, legal, everything. It was no good. But fortunately for me, I'm not most people. I don't let that affect me, who I am. I'm always going to keep going back and get in. You understand from your side as well that you can't let that affect you. Everyone has their own situations, and just getting over that hump is what's going to help you separate yourself from any other business owner in whatever industry that you're getting involved into. So I spent a ton of time learning about what this new industry was called, is peptides. A ton of people were talking about it. My dad, who very in shape, ex-military, Ranger, Black Hawk pilot, whatever you want to say, he's super in shape, and he introduced me to peptides because I wanted to lose a little bit of stubborn fat. I was like, holy crap, this is a crazy experience, and I had awesome results. So what is the business opportunity that is in front of me? So I spent 4 months researching literally every ins and outs, like what I could find online, from processors, suppliers, websites, labels, testing, literally everything you can think of. And then in February, finally hit my first $60,000 a month with peptides. So if you watch the end of this video, I can promise you this is probably going to be the best 30 minutes I have ever spent online learning about peptides. And I'm going to give you years of information on branding and e-com all in one video. So we'll start it off with the ICP. Austin, what is an ICP? ICP is your ideal customer profile. It pretty much is just explaining, okay, who are we selling to? For peptides specifically, we understand what our target market is, and then how you can understand where am I going to place myself in that market to capitalize on the opportunity that's in front of me. So you need to understand, who are we selling to? And our peptide brand cannot be unique if we don't understand the exact person that we want to buy from us. And your TAM, your SAM, your ICP, these are all a bunch of different terms, and I'll get talking about them in a bit. But your SAM is just a future buyer, and the ICP is a now buyer, and the TAM is a total market that you can attack. So for an example, Marcus, he is 36 years old, age 30 to 42. His income is between anywhere from $150,000 to $300,000 a year. They work in tech, finance, executives. Psychographs are going to be high-performing biohackers optimizing their body for focus and longevity. Their day in the life is a 5:30 a.m. gym, cold plunge, supplement stack, journaling. Apple follows every health fanatic you can think of, but their fears are getting scammed. They've tried stuff before but didn't work, and evidence and science-based language. Basically, Brian Johnson, if you guys know who that is, that's basically who our target ICP is, for example. And the problem that they are experiencing is that most brands have zero differentiating factors. For example, the fitness market, everybody knows there's a bunch of fitness influencers out there. It's not saturated. However, the issue that separates one fitness influencer from the other is the way that their whole brand is built from the ground. Coaches are just not unique. They have no unique mechanism. They have no unique offer. Why would I buy from you versus somebody else? And that's the way that you have to think about branding for a peptide company. For a little bit more example, there is nothing about this example right here that screams, this is made for me, and the design is just soulless. Like I'm just showing a vial and a name and a price and a buy now. Well, why should I buy that? And the solution that we can attach to that is building your ICP is like identifying and crafting your specific bullet. The better and deeper understanding of your ICP is the bigger the bullet can get. For example, we have our low understanding, which is a small bullet, versus the high understanding right here, which is a bigger attack to that specific goal. And I'll show you exactly how I do the math behind my products, how I do the actual ICP and brand identification, the website structure and backend build, and I'll even show you the revenue jumpstart framework I use for all of my clients. So whether you're just starting or already running, you can start immediately collecting as much cash as possible. All right, this is the numbers and ordering strategy where your goal is to build a business where $2,000 of inventory funds your first $9K a month. And the trap that most people fall into is that most brands have zero plan for inventory. Why am I ordering 30 vials of Red? Why am I ordering 30 vials of semaglutide when you don't understand who your ICP is before ordering that first order? So most people either over order and bleed cash on inventory, or they under order and your customers are unhappy and leave and they have nothing that fits what they want to achieve. Or you have no clue how to pick what SKUs and just have never touched e-commerce before because, like I say every single time, this is not a normal industry. It's very different than clothing brands, very different than drop shipping. It's not very standard and you can't apply the same strategy as you do for those industries to this. It's literally gambling. Build for a small, knowledgeable target, then size the inventory backward from it. You have a 2K low input and a 16K ceiling. Okay, and the math behind it, let's say we start off investing $5,000 and an AOV of $300, which is industry standard, having around 30 orders per month, which is a very conservative number. The numbers are right there. You have $6.3 thousand in monthly profit doing less work than you probably are right now. You make your initial investment back in less than a month, and you don't need to quit your job either, and you're spending 1 to 2 hours max per day. So you're no longer gambling on your orders, and it's literally proof-backed math. Okay, so let's get into the real intricate details of the math. So your inventory, at a $2,000 bulk order, your landed cost is around $12 per vial, which means you can stock 165 vials of whatever RUO peptides you desire at a $99 retail, which is average around all the different SKUs. With your customer paying shipping, that's a 16K revenue ceiling with a net profit per vial at $87. That 2K of stock covers $16,000 of sales, which is nearly 2 times the month 1 target. Now, to understand how to build your initial SKUs, you need to pick 3 to 5 SKUs mapped to your ICP and spread $2,000, which will be your initial bulk order across the entire batch. For example, you ordered BPC, your landed cost is $12 from our supplier. Your retail is about $99, which you're netting $87 per vial. Same thing across TB500 and CJC Ipamorelin, landed 14, retail 119, and your net profit is $105. You are not a pharmacy, you are a RUO peptide lab, and you are a brand that sells these products. You don't need to sell them. And what I mean by that, Austin, I'm not selling them. I'm talking about the way you have to take a customer down the belief funnel of why they have to buy certain things. More than likely, you're going to have an educated buyer on your site that knows what they want. And as long as you position yourself in the best way possible to capture on that attention, you will be able to capitalize. Okay, now we got the numbers away. Now we can earn the right to build the brand after this, which is where we're at right now. These are some examples of brands that I have built for my consulting agency. And the goal when you build your brand identity is to build the brand identity that makes your ICP say, this is made for me. For example, Halo, which is a site that specifically sells backwater. Go through it on here. Really nice, super aesthetic, Apple vibe. It's really, really nice. Then we go into True Aminos, another client that has worked with us. great website, very speaking to their specific ICP. And then we have the daily peptides, similar to the Apple style site, high quality, can position themselves as a very premium brand. And we have Sumis Labs, has a little visual in the front, super nice, high quality. We can go over to Patriot Biolabs, very nice. If you don't understand who this is talking to, then we should have a different conversation. And then we have Nordic Labs, which is a European-based company that specifically just sells research pens. They're based out of Sweden, super high quality as well, very nice, easy to navigate, high quality websites. So as you understand the point there, these are a bunch of examples of brands that I built with my clients live for multiple hours at a time. We spend 2-3 hours at a single moment getting on calls every single week, which if you're not already aware, I run a consultation business. And the reason I bring this up is because everything that you see is handed to them, in some aspects even done for them. So if that interests you, check out the first link in the bio, but back to the main video. Each and every single brand I have built has its own unique ICP and branding, and you can see exactly who it's made for. And the reason I want to emphasize on that so much is because right now it's a very big problem with this industry that most companies try to act like they're the white knight of the peptide industry and sell the cheapest product, and they just constantly competing on pricing. And there's a big reason why they don't last. For example, we have H&M versus Ralph Lauren. These two brands could sell and probably do sell this exact same quality, but can charge more because of the branding they built. What I mean, Ralph Lauren, $100 t-shirt versus H&M, a $10 t-shirt. So what do you need to explain this for your own personal brand? You need your company name, you need your logo, you need your color palette, you need your packaging, you need your typography, and your ICP call out. Now, affiliates and marketing. Remember, Marcus. Let's take a look at a good affiliated creator versus a bad one. For example, these guys right here. Which branding do you think that they would connect with? This one or this one? I think you should be able to answer that yourself. UPeps, which is another brand we worked with, based off of what we know about our ICP, they would not buy from this guy if we had him promoting our brand. So you understand that affiliates that connect with your brand have to resonate with the way that you want your ICP to perceive your company. Okay, now we have Lapis. This is the website and engine behind everything. Now, this software is very special to me, and this is the entire part because for 3 weeks, I spent every single waking hour of my life working on this one software, which centralizes literally every aspect of a peptide company into one. And that software is called Lapis, which you can pretty much explain it as the Shopify for peptides. So it's called Lapis. This is our logo. Pretty awesome. I know it's the best. But this is your main dashboard. You have your revenue, you have your orders, your AOV, your new customers, you have everything that you would need to understand where your business is at from a very centralized perspective. Then we move it down to your customer tracking. We can literally track your entire customer journey, how your visitors find you and what they do. You can attribute certain UTM links. You can funnel them down and see what per order journey each customer takes. So for example, Max, he goes through one specific click. He goes from Reddit, then he goes down to BPC, and why he ended up checking out quicker than Sally, who went straight from Reddit, then she went to TB500, then she went to CJC, and then the entire process you can literally track and see what your top pages are on your website, which is very important to optimize at different stages, because once you get to a point where you maximize everything that you can do from a business perspective, you have to see what the little cracks are that you can fill. Okay, and then after that, this is like the coolest part. This is your store builder, which utilizes an AI that is completely trained on me. Every single group call, every single personal one-on-one call I have done, we have programmed into our AI to pull from that set of data to output the best response and best output for you. Anything that you could possibly need to be done from your site, you can utilize the AI. So if you've heard of Lovable, that's very similar to what this does, but at a peptide scale. Now we move on to our automatic label system, and it pretty much you can pull from your shipping platform called Shippo. We connect it through our API token. Put your name, your company, your address, and then labels are able to pull right from there. And so many more things that quite literally make it unnecessary for you to have any other software subscription to anything. Literally anything out there you won't need because you have this. So it all stays in one centralized place, and it is designed by a peptide company owner and for other peptide company owners in the entire industry. Okay, now let's get on to our revenue jumpstart framework. I know, very fancy word, But the way that this works is you need to build a free growth channel before you spend one singular dollar on ads. Block A, start warm. 10 to 50 clients at an average order value of $300 is equivalent to $3,000 to $15,000 a month. Remember we talked about your TAM, your SAM, and your ICP? This is what it looks like in action. You have your inner circle, which is people that you can text right now. Those are your initial first sales, and we loop them back in using referrals. Think about it. Everyone is already talking about peptides and the different things that they can do for you, but nobody has a reliable or trustable source to get them from because there are so many different options out there. It's very confusing for the customer, and that is where you can fill that gap. Maybe you have gym friends looking for a stack. You have health-focused friends looking to add to their stack. Business friends looking for the best cognitive performance. Whoever it may be, they already know you and trust you personally, and you can hit them first for very easy sales. Then we can move on to our referral engine. You have a happy customer, you incentivize them utilizing a discount code or a other incentivizing factor that you can come up with. I don't know, send them over a letter with, hey, thank you for your order. I would love for you to come back. We'll give you 20% off your next order. Then you have their friend buy. They incentivizing them by giving them a discount code. They will send you more business. And it is a double-sided incentive. We call this a two-sided incentive. You have your friend buy, both of them get rewarded. The friend gets a discount code. The friend that referred the friend also gets discounted on their next order, and you loop that back in to start back over. The incentive for the first customer is that they get a percentage off their next order. The friend gets the first order discount. You collect their email and info and add them into any sort of newsletter or promos that you have built in utilizing Lapis or whatever you want to do for that. And the best time to send these is right as they're about to reorder, so it adds an extra incentive and also gets someone in the system as well. And this compounds insanely quickly. You're going from 30 people ordering a month to 60 almost immediately because everybody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and that's the snowball effect that you can capitalize on. This can literally turn a one-time buyer into a free growth channel with very minimal cost of acquisition, and almost nobody builds it in this space. So that we put this together, we have your model, you have your ICP, you have your numbers, you have your brand, your site, your process, your acquisition, your referrals. I've pretty much shown you exactly everything that you need to get started with your own peptide brand. And it's obviously a lot of work to try and figure everything out on your own if you have zero experience. And even if you're running stuff right now, how long will that last with your current setup? Which is why if you are interested, you can click the first link below and I will show you exactly how you can have these exact same systems that I've built for many other clients. We have 57 clients right now that we have worked with, taking them from A to Z. Everything you need to get started, from payment processors, suppliers, all done with and or for you, depending on where your situation lies. Now you understand the system. The gap is executing it fast without the mistakes. So if you are ready to start on this lifelong journey, I would love to help you out. So hit that link below, get in contact with our team. They should be super quick, and I'll chat with you guys soon. Peace.